Surely you've heard dog apologists claim that dogs need to be socialized. We're going to go over some of the reasons they give for why it's necessary, but first, let's look at the basic definition of the word. There are three main definitions. This is what they really mean.
The process of learning to behave in a way that is acceptable to society.
Now, they could also mean the activity of mixing dogs with other dogs. And indeed, these people do attempt to get dogs acclimated to the presence of other dogs. Obviously, they are not interested in planned economies. Really, all they're talking about is exposing their dogs to other dogs and to other humans. First, let's focus on the latter. If a person has a dog, then that dog is already exposed to humans. The dog is interacting with its owner all the time, and perhaps also the owner's family and friends. So why is it necessary to bring a dog around more humans? Well, this is the thing because dogs are inherently aggressive towards humans.
No the fuck they're not, clown. Dogs do know their owners and their families, but they don't know what people are like outside of that. And that's why it's important to socialize your dog so they get used to meeting new people. Like, do you really expect for a dog to automatically assume that all humans are the same, despite only knowing its owner and never met other people? Like, come on, be fucking honest, dude.
But why are dogs prone to aggressive behavior in the first place? Why do they need to be exposed to new people, animals, and environments to be less violent?
Technically, I already explained this, but I'm gonna do it again. The reason they need to constantly be exposed to new people and animals is because they generally do not know what they are like at the moment. So, the more time they spend with new people and animals, the more they're more comfortable with new people and animals.
Domestic cats don't have this issue, and even when cats spend a great deal of time outdoors, they aren't being aggressive towards us the way even many leashed dogs are. They aren't being governed by a human, and they aren't restrained. Yet, they seem to know how to coexist, without going batshit, simply because they see us. Even in cities, we encounter many different outdoor animals. These animals are wild and undomesticated, yet they do not need to be socialized to be made less aggressive. Now do they? Such animals include birds and various mammals, such as squirrels, rabbits or raccoons, as well as lizards or frogs and toads. None of these animals require human intervention, either to know how to interact among themselves or to be less aggressive at the mere sight of a human.
Okay, now you're just straight up lying, dude. Because this is some of a problem with cats as well. Also, the cats that coexist with humans are obviously fucking socialized. You dumb fuck. Considering they've met a ton of people and animals before. Also, I find it really pathetic that you would use wild animals as an example of not needing socialization. And yeah, no shit that they don't need no socialization. They're wild animals, not domestic animals like cats or dogs. Also, are you seriously gonna use a raccoon as an example, despite them getting quite aggressive with humans?
At one time, horses were a common sight in cities. They were around us all the time. If horses were anywhere near as aggressive as dogs, this would not have been feasible. Horses, again, did not require socialization like dogs seem to. We should be asking ourselves, what's wrong with dogs?
Horses didn't need socialization? Dude, look at the fucking picture and tell me, what do you see? Well, I see horses being used as transportation, and if these horses obviously get exposed to humans a lot. Wait, do you hear that? I think that's a sound of socialization! These horses are obviously socialized. You know, this just proves that you're all assumptions and no facts.
What do dogs have to be so fearful and anxious about? Almost every dog I've ever encountered has been extremely assertive. You can tell by how they approach you, without you making any effort to get their attention, that they are anything but fearful. In the vast majority of cases, dogs aren't fearful of much, and they certainly aren't fearful of humans. Fear has nothing to do with why they attack, and a dog that's truly fearful of a person will not attack. Perhaps only if it is cornered might it do so, but I've never in my life heard of anyone cornering a dog. As for anxiety, it's quite simple really. Either dogs are prone to excessive anxiety, or dogs having anxiety is a made-up reason dog defenders give to explain why dogs are such hostile and abrasive miscreants. What do dogs have to be so anxious about anyway? If they can't handle crowded spaces, then dog nutters everywhere need to stop taking them to those environments.
Really, dude? That's your fucking reason why dogs are not fearful? Is because most of your encounters were with assertive dogs? Well, I have to give you points for experience, but I'm afraid I'm gonna have to retract those points after what you say next. And yes, there are dogs that are absolutely fearful of humans, seeing there are videos online showing dogs being scared of them. Also, some of those dogs do have a reason considering they were abused by humans, and you should know this considering you enjoy watching those videos.
Having walked around a lot, I've encountered countless dogs. Most of them were either behind a fenced-in area of some kind, or attached to a lead, walking next to a person. But quite a few of them were also loose. And I can tell you that out of all these dogs, I only ever saw one that seemed fearful in the slightest. Literally just one. Believe it or not, this was a large, loose dog. It shouldn't have been afraid of me or anything else in its surroundings, but its comportment was a radical departure from that of every other dog I'd seen up to that point. It looked around nervously and literally tucked its tail and did all it could to avoid me. It definitely didn't bark or make any sound, whereas almost every loose dog I've encountered has spelled immediate trouble for me, and every dog I've ever encountered that was behind a gate or fence, or even a window or screen door, has darted towards me whilst barking incessantly and snarling or growling and being incredibly hostile. Many leashed dogs pay very little attention to me, but then again, I maintain a good distance from all of them. Although, a few leashed dogs have likewise shown a great deal of inexplicable hostility. Several have even lunged at me, all whilst making horrific demonic-sounding vocalizations.
I have to ask this. Doesn't that one dog being afraid of you contradict your whole point about dogs being naturally aggressive and them not being fearful of humans? And you say it's one, like it doesn't contradict your points, when it kinda does. Also, I find it interesting that you first say that most of the dogs you encounter were assertive, and then you say some of those dogs were behind fences and were growling and barking, which is a sign of anxiety and being territorial, and isn't even exclusive to dogs. And you say most of the dogs on leashes didn't even make contact with you. You know what that smells like? It smells like a contradiction!
The main takeaway is this. In the real world, people are being attacked by violent dogs. Whether those dogs are or aren't trained or socialized or whatever other magical things dog owners are supposed to be doing to make them less aggressive, it doesn't matter. There is even much debate in the dog world itself, and it seems many of them can't even get it right. Just do a quick search for how many varied training and socialization techniques there are. Look up alleged dog experts and trainers correcting and contradicting others in their field. Or for that matter, look at the sheer number of problems there are to fix when it comes to dogs. How to stop your dog from doing any 1 or 20 of at least 100 things dogs are doing, which are causing dog owners to turn to the internet or elsewhere for solutions. At the end of the day, we are left with these simple conclusions. 1. These things, training, socialization, and so on, don't actually reduce aggression in dogs and are thus immaterial. 2. These things only work to a point, but clearly many dog owners aren't doing them anyway. 3. Whether these things work or not, we're clearly never going to live in a world where every dog owner does whatever magical thing is supposed to stop dogs from being dogs. And to that end, it is silly to even continue to entertain this absurd debate.
Are you fucking high?
Oh no, the main takeaway is that you're a fucking liar that contradicts himself. Because socialization does work. Why? Because most dogs do not harm people. Also, I find it funny how you would use that article for reference when it later says that dogs attack due to lack of crucial socialization. This just proves that you don't bother doing fucking research. The fact that this was one of those videos that destroys my argument is laughably pathetic, and that little post you made about it reeks so much of irony. And of course, your fans ate it up because they are full of shit.